evening. First of all, we'd like to request that everyone please stay off of the Wi-Fi today. R&M is trying to live screen our press conference, so if you could stay off until after the question and answer time, that would be helpful. My name is Kelly Timberlake, and I serve as the lay leader here at Green Street United Methodist Church. We definitely want to welcome you to this press conference. We have prepared some folders with information for the media, and in those folders, you will find the written complaint that was sent by Kenny Barner and Scott Chappell, a response by Pastor Kelly, a frequently asked questions document, a copy of our public marriage statement, and some information about Green Street Church and Reconciling Ministries. We also have a flyer in the back for an event that we will be taking part in on Friday. The Out of the Wilderness Conference will feature Bishop Gene Robinson, the first openly gay bishop of the Episcopal Church, as the keynote speaker at Wake Forest University. As you can see from the activity in our building, Green Street is a congregation committed to being in ministry with the entire community. Thank you for coming tonight. Kenny Barner and Scott Chappell will speak to us about the complaint that they have filed, followed by a response and comments by Pastor Kelly, and then a time for questions. If this press conference drags on, you're welcome to stay for choir practice at 6:45. So thanks again for coming tonight, and Kenny and Scott.
Welcome to Green Street United Methodist Church again, and thank you for coming. I'm Kenny Barner, and this is my spouse, Scott Chappell. The process of filing a complaint against our pastor has been painful. That said, remaining silent in the face of injustice only allows injustice to continue. We refuse to remain silent. We are not angry or in conflict with Pastor Kelly. We love our pastor and we love our church. The United Methodist denomination is forcing Pastor Kelly to practice discrimination and to refuse us pastoral care by not celebrating our marriage. Pastor Kelly and the United Methodist denomination are called to be in ministry to all people, yet we are denied the opportunity to be married by a pastor. The United Methodist Church states that sex gender discrimination is banned, yet we are refused a sacred service because we are two men. The rule against pastors marrying people who love each other is wrong and must change. Today, we call on all LGBTQ United Methodist couples wishing to be married to file similar complaints with their bishops. The United Methodist Church must decide which rules to uphold and which rules to ignore. We will not be ignored if we raise our voices in peaceful protest. God's grace is available for all. It is time for the United Methodist Church to practice grace rather than discrimination. Gay people are children of God and of sacred worth, making us fully compatible with Christian teachings. In his name, Kenneth Barner and Scott Chappell.
Good evening. Over 20 years ago, I told committee members of the Board of Ordained Ministry in two different United Methodist conferences that I disagreed with the language in the discipline that declared that homosexuality is incompatible with Christian teaching, and that I would be active in efforts to change that language. Both committees approved me, and I was ordained a deacon in 1993 and an elder in 1996. And so my stance on homosexuality and same-sex marriage is a surprise to no one in the church. Serving as the pastor of Green Street United Methodist Church has been one of the great privileges of my life. The congregation has grown in number and diversity, with an increasing commitment to ministries of compassion and justice. 5 years ago, the congregation became a reconciling congregation, making a public statement of welcome to the LGBTQ community. And they came. As a congregation, we struggled against Amendment 1, and we celebrated its demise as couples throughout our congregation had their long-term committed relationships recognized by the state. Kenny Barner and Scott Chappell are two of the finest disciples of Jesus that I know. They model love and commitment in both their professional and personal lives. They are devout church members who lead and serve with joyful obedience. I am humbled and honored to be their pastor. And like so many of the LGBTQ couples in our church, they have taught me the importance of marriage equality. At this time, I will not violate the prohibition of the United Methodist Church and preside at same-sex weddings. It is more than my own personal and professional well-being that would be at risk. Anyone who spends time at Green Street knows that our commitment is not simply to our own members, but to the many community people in need with whom we are in ministry. There is a lot at stake for all of us with such an action. But, as Bishop Melvin Talbert made clear to our church in a sermon just last month, biblical obedience calls us beyond the discriminatory language of our denomination. In fact, language within the United Methodist discipline does call us to be in ministry with all people. And if pastors can be charged with violating the discipline by presiding at ceremonies that celebrate commitment and love between same-sex couples, then we should also be charged with discrimination and failing to be in ministry with all people when we do not. The United Methodist discipline says these words: inclusiveness means openness, acceptance, and support that enables all persons to participate of discrimination, of discrimination, of discrimination, of discrimination, of discrimination.